is the World Series champion Chicago Cubs on ABC7.
We greet you from venerable Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The Cubs open up a 6-game West Coast swing. Cubs and the Dodgers coming up on ABC7. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs went 7-2 on the just completed homestand. Back in first place, the Dodgers come in winners of 6 of 8.
Yeah, Dodgers playing very good baseball. They have the best run differential in the National League. They've won 18 of their last 26 games. Cubs on the homestand really did a lot of slugging. 20 home runs in those 9 games, averaging better than 6.5 runs per game. Starters pitching well, 3.27 ERA. Highlighted by the complete game by John Lester. Dodgers just a good, balanced, well-rounded team. Good starters, good pen, and scoring plenty of runs.
And our Hooters Hot Player, brought to you by your Chicagoland Hooters, the original wing joint, Ben Zobrist.
Now Ben, a 4.44 on the homestand. Talking with Joe Madden about Ben earlier today. He said this is as good as he's seen him in a long while, really squaring up the baseball, really providing a spark at the top of the Cubs batting order.
It's his 36th birthday, and he's in the leadoff spot tonight. He has reached base now in 22 in a row. And when we come back, we'll focus in on tonight's starting pitching matchup. Should be a good one. Jake Arrieta back here at Dodger Stadium, a place where he threw his first career no-hitter. Stay with us. Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC7 is being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. By Mattress Firm, where we want you to sleep happy guaranteed. Remember, if it's over 8, it's time to replace. By Xfinity, Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Is being brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Ford, America's best-selling brand. inviting you to go further in our fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And by Lakeside Bank. We make banking simple. Lakeside Bank. It's about time. Late night Cubs action here on ABC 7. Let's get into the starting pitching matchup. We'll start with our Blue Moon perfect pitch as we focus in on Jake Arrieta.
6 innings, 1 run. It was unearned last time out against Milwaukee. Had a real good curveball, and then the ability to throw that fastball down and away to a right-handed hitter. A huge plus for Arrieta because he's got that funky crossfire delivery. That's a money pitch for him.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel for a taste that shines brighter. And now our Goodwill pitching matchup for whatever style you want today. Amazing.
Yeah, Arrieta's had a lot of luck out here in California. Last 2 regular season starts against the Dodgers, he's been lights out. His last 6 in California, 6-0 with a 0.20 ERA. Alex Wood, boy, what a lift he has given the Dodgers. He's got 20 and a third scoreless innings in the books. He's got a 188 ERA and a 5-0 record.
And the Cubs begin their Anchorman trip tonight, and that is a scientific fact. First pitch next. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. A little cooler tonight than we're used to here in Southern California. Temperatures in the 60s. The sun has finally showed its face here late in the afternoon, early evening hours. And it's the birthday boy, Ben Zobrist, 36 years old today, to lead it off against Alex Wood. And a strike to get us started. Zobrist, the switch hitter, batting from the right side. Forsythe at third, backs up now with a strike. 1-1 the count. What has Alex Wood been doing?
Wow, he's just been lights out. He's got the highest ground ball rate in the league, 67%. He's giving up no slugging whatsoever. He's allowed just 1 home run and 5 doubles.
That is a strike.
Mercedes-Benz keys to the game, and we'll focus in a little bit on Alex Wood as well. First California cool, Jake Arrieta, as you know, has been outstanding out here, including the no-hitter a couple years back. Try to get some wood on wood. League is batting just 194 against him. And the pen is mightier. Both of these bullpens really good at shutting down the opposition. The Dodgers have the best bullpen ERA in the National League. The Cubs have the 3rd best bullpen ERA. Fastball, changeup, curveball for Alex Wood. He gets a lot of swings and misses with both the change and the curve.
He was the losing pitcher when Jake Arrieta no-hit the Dodgers on August 30th, 2015. Battled an elbow injury, missed more than half the season last year. His 1-2 is bounced on a change.
Yeah, and he can drop some funk on you too. He's got a funky delivery, and there you see the numbers. 5-0 with a 1.88 ERA. Does not have enough innings yet to qualify to be listed among the league leaders. But if he did, he would be top 5 in just about every category.
2 of his first 3 appearances in April were out of the bullpen, as that one is fouled in and out of the glove of Grandal, the catcher. We'll get the rest of the Cubs lineup here in a moment.
Making a pretty strong case to be the pitcher of the month before May in the National League. He's made 3 starts. He's won them all. He has not allowed a run. 25 punch outs, 4 walks, just 13 hits allowed in those 3 starts.
Here comes his 2-2, and he strikes out the red-hot Ben Zobrist to start it. And the rest of the Cubs. Southwest Airlines starting 9. Chris Bryant coming up. Moving back up into the 2-hole for tonight. Rizzo 3rd, Happ in the cleanup spot as he makes his Dodger Stadium debut. Contreras, Hayward, who's been really good since coming back from the DL. Baez at 2nd, Russell at short, and the pitcher Arrieta. Bryant has 7 career homers and 56 at bats against the Dodgers. He homered against the Giants yesterday afternoon. And a foul strike. Cubs on their anchorman trip. Chris wore a white suit with Cub logos all over the front and his name and number on the back. 0-2. And is this right that Ellen DeGeneres gave it to him?
Yeah, when he went on the Ellen show after the World Series. And, I think her suggestion was that he wear it when he got married. He opted not to do that, but deemed it worthy to wear on the anchorman trip.
Rizzo on deck, just underway. Alex Wood, 26 years old. And Bryant held.
Second meeting between these 2 clubs this year. The Dodgers opened the home portion of the Cubs season at Wrigley early April. Cubs won 2 out of 3. There was a total of 11 runs scored in that entire series.
Called strike 3.
There you go.
Good look. I like the name and number on the back in particular. Now Anthony Rizzo coming off a huge homestand. .387, 5 homers, 9 knocked in, and 5 walks in the 9 games. Weather at the first pitch is brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. For all the right reasons, call 866 4 Seasons. And this looks to be the type of weather we will expect throughout this Southern California trip. Mid to upper 60s. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
That'll play. Could be a few degrees warmer, but it's good baseball weather. Woodman, he's coming out of the gate just perfectly executing his game plan here.
A little funk in his delivery.
Funk and a little giddy up on that heater too. His fastball velocity up a little bit this year. We've seen him at 95 already this evening. Top out at 96, average 93.
Rizzo really choking up with 2 strikes. Then he hits a ground ball that is handled by Utley, the second baseman. Cubs go quietly. Jake Arrieta to the mound when we come back. Dodgers rank 5th in the National League in runs. They lead the majors with a plus 64 run differential, 28-20. Third place in the West. Cubs are back in first for the first time since May 6th. Half a game ahead of the Brewers. And Logan Forsythe takes a strike from veteran right-hander Jake Arrieta.
Jake a winner last time out. He is now 5-3 with a 4.80 ERA, making his 10th start. League bats .281 against him. Good strikeout numbers. So, even though the ERA is higher than you would expect, and he's been a bit up and down, the strikeout rate, the walk rate, both really good. If he's able to maintain that, that ERA is going to continue to go down.
These are the 2 most patient lineups in the National League according to walk totals. The Cubs have drawn 186 to lead the NL. The Dodgers are second with 182, and Forsythe will take his walks. He's down 1-2, make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Recently came off the DL. He's playing third. Justin Turner has a sprained hamstring and is on the DL.
Forsythe had a broken toe. The official term was broken great toe. That's medical for big toe.
Yeah. Sergeant Halka would disagree with the term great toe. Full count on him. Seager on deck. The pitch popped up. Looks like Rizzo will have some room. Foul territory. And he's got it for the out. And as you can hear, Cub fans well represented tonight here in LA. The rest of the Dodger lineup brought to you by Fix Auto. Corey Seager will likely be a perennial MVP candidate. Yasmani Grandal is really, really good. More on him in a bit. Adrian Gonzalez still without a home run. Chris Taylor has been great in center here this week, filling in for Jock Peterson. The rookie Bellinger in left. Chase Utley at second. Yasiel Puig hits eighth. And the pitcher Wood ninth, and Seager promptly singles into left. First base runner of the night, Corey Seager.
Cubs defensively brought to you by Plumbers 911. You see Zobrist, Happa, and Hayward across the outfield. Bryant, Russell, Baez, Rizzo third to first. Wilson Contreras behind the plate for Jake Arrieta. Emergency plumbing service is one click away at plumbers911.com.
Well, you know me, I'm all in on guys who you don't hear enough about. And in the team picture of most underrated player in baseball currently, Yasmani Grandal's picture is very present.
Yeah, he's
really good.
Yeah, but both ways. Really good defensively.
Great pitch framer. He led the majors in homers by a catcher last year. And he's hitting .364 this month.
Second in OPS among catchers, trailing only Buster Posey.
Arrieta's one strike pitch is a curve. That's outside. Talking with Chris Bosio about pitching in California. He said it's a little similar to pitching in Arizona. You have bigger ballparks. And he said you got to be a little more aggressive with all of your pitches here. Doesn't feel like everything breaks quite as much here in California. But whatever you have to do here, it's worked out for Arrieta. Man, has he been good, as you mentioned in the open.
Yeah, 6-0 in his last 6 with a 0.20, highlighted by that no-hitter back on August 30th of 2015. LL Cool J, he's the king of Cali.
He was a Gold Club member of the Hotel California.
And I don't know if we have a hot gun here tonight. We saw Wood at 95. We just saw Jake at 95, and we've seen a whole lot of that out of Jake this year. If that's accurate, that's a very good sign.
3-1 the count on Grandal. Here's the pitch. Double play chance. Baez, Russell, Rizzo. Dodgers done in the first. So we're 0-0. The opener of a 3-game rematch from last year's NLCS. No score.
Watch your source for everything Chicago. ABC 7 Eyewitness News, weeknights at 10 with Chicago's team of Alan Krzyzewski, Kathy Brock, Cheryl Burton, Cheryl Scott, and Mark Gingreco.
Second inning, scoreless tie. Cubs and Dodgers. Mentioned the Cubs are back in first place, jumping ahead of the Brewers, who put Ryan Braun on the DL. Milwaukee hosting Arizona this weekend. Cardinals are in Colorado, trailing 2-0 as they go to the 8th. And that game in Milwaukee, 1-1, bottom 7.
Diamondbacks have won 9 out of 10.
The rookie Ian Happ batting in the cleanup spot, and a chopper foul to third. First round pick, 2015, out of the University of Cincinnati. Kind of a bittersweet time for Ian. A few months later, his father Keith passed away after a battle with brain cancer, but his dad was at Wrigley to see him take BP right after he was drafted 9th overall. 1-2. Alex Woods from Charlotte, North Carolina. Braves took him in the second round of 2012 out of the University of Georgia. He had Tommy John surgery while in college, and he just struck out Happ. He's fanned 3 of the first 4. Hey, Cub fans, come out and support your world champs. The Cubs have tickets still available on the upcoming homestand, which begins June 2nd, especially for the Marlins series. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com. Wilson Contreras back in the starting lineup. Miguel Montero started the last 2 games against the Giants. And fouled away. Wood now is not allowed a run in over 21 consecutive innings.
Tell just by his body language out there, he's pitching with a lot of confidence. Gets the ball, gets on the mound, ready to go. Made a commitment to throw more breaking pitches. He's always had that great changeup and a good enough fastball, but as we mentioned earlier, the velocity's up a little bit. Now he's added the curveball.
His 1.70 career ERA in this ballpark is the 3rd best all time, with a minimum of 100 innings. So this has been a very comfortable place for him to pitch. You'd imagine Sandy Koufax would be on that list, as is Clayton Kershaw, who will take the ball on Sunday. Still 1-2. The Dodgers lead the majors in ERA, 3.37. And you see everything to Contreras has been away. And that one a little low, according to the plate umpire, Mike DeMuro.
And that's our Comcast Xfinity strike zone, and you see that Wood working the edges, keeping the ball off the corner, down below the knees. Here comes the change piece.
Trip Gibson is at first tonight. Dan Iassogna at second. Crew chief Brian Gorman is over at third. Mr. DeMuro will make most of the calls. Boy, this has been a clinic. Yeah. Wood has not put one ball completely in that box. But if you work to hitters like he has, you're going to have a lot of success.
Oh, absolutely. And he has that kind of little bit of a lower arm slot, and he's able to throw that fastball in on the right-handed hitters.
Another one.
Yeah, just is John Lester like in his unwillingness to give into the middle of the strike zone. He's already given the Cub hitters a lot to contemplate, and they step up there at home plate.
A 2-bouncer to Seager. Cubs saw him on April the 10th. He got a no decision. He went into the 4th inning, and they made him work. He threw 70 pitches and left trailing 2-0.
He walked 5 in that outing, and he's only walked 13 all year.
Now facing a former teammate in Atlanta, Jason Hayward. 5 games off the DL, a hit and a run in each, including a home run last night. Cubs have won 3 straight and 7 of 9. And another ball struck well by Hayward. Cubs have their first hit.
Well, that's the whole key when a guy's rolling the way Wood is. If he makes mistakes, you got to take advantage. Seize on that opportunity, and that was a flat breaking ball. Stayed up in the zone. Hayward continues his good work. More solid contact from the big guy.
Now Javier Baez, who hit 400 on the just completed homestand, played short yesterday and made one of the best plays we've seen all season. Back at second base tonight, and the first offering is a fastball low. Short lead by Hayward, being held by Gonzalez. It's kind of hard to figure out who the Cub fans and who the Dodger fans are, as both teams wear a similar shade of blue.
Everybody's feeling a little blue tonight.
In a good way.
Oftentimes against a pitcher who looks like he's going to be tough to hit, you think about trying the running game, but that's a tough proposition as well with Wood out there, lefty, tough to read, and Grandal, one of the better throwing catchers in the league. He's caught 50% as Grandal, way above league average.
Bounce toward the middle. Nice play. Utley, he'll just hang on. Infield hit for Baez. And I hope Hayward's all right. He went in head first at second. And he's kind of walking it off here. I think he was expecting a play that never happened. Sometimes that can force you to slide awkwardly. Let's see. Looks like he's all right.
Give bonus points to Utley for the most enthusiastic bluff I've seen in a while.
So back-to-back 2-out hits. Addison Russell takes one up and in.
I asked Joe about Addy this afternoon. I said, what are you seeing with Russell? And he goes, I don't know. It's the thing. He'll have a game where I think he's about to turn the corner, and then he'll kind of scuffle for the next couple of nights.
Big home run here in the NLCS last year. Remember, the Cubs had been shut out in games 2 and 3 before they busted out to a 10-2 win in game 4. And they did not lose another game in that series, clinching back home at Wrigley as Kyle Hendricks beat Clayton Kershaw in game 6. Long pause by the lefty and the pitch inside 2-1.
It's a challenge for any hitter, especially still a very young hitter, is not to press, don't get overly anxious. Addy batting just a $145 here in the month of May.
It's late May. It's much cooler here tonight than it was in late October here in LA. About 72 for game 3 and then upper 80s for games 4 and 5 as Russell could not hold. It's 2-2. A little anxious. Arrieta on deck. Swinging a high foul fly to the seats. Cubs arrived last night here in LA at a fairly reasonable hour. It's always a body clock adjustment. After 2 extra hours, you wake up, feels like it's about 9 in the morning. You go 5:30.
Yeah.
What?
Kind of force yourself to stay on the program.
A lot of different start times on this 6-game trip too. Full count, action time.
Really slowing things down here with a man in scoring position. Quick tempo has disappeared.
Hayward the lead man. Baez at first. Long look by Wood. There they go. Swing and a miss for his 4th strikeout. Cubs strand 2. We're still scoreless early. Dodgers bat in the second inning. Jake Arrieta gave up 1-out single in the first and then got a double play ball. Adrian Gonzalez. Spent some time earlier on the DL with right elbow soreness. The first time he had ever been on the DL. He had played over 1,800 major league games before he went on the shelf. And he fouls away, and he hasn't homered in 37 games dating back to late September of last year. 0-2.
Gonzalez, for many years now, has been a very dependable run producer. And he was really scuffling here this year. Maybe that sore elbow has something to do with it. A lot of wear and tear on that body, playing this season at age 35. Certainly understandable, predictable that a player would be in decline at this stage of his career.
That RBI total, ranking 6th among active players. One-two pitch, line foul to left. Dodgers are really good here at home, 18-8 so far. Mentioned they lead the majors in run differential. The Cubs led all of baseball last year, plus 252. And a swing and a miss for Arrieta's first punch out.
On Saturday, June 3rd, Cubs play the Cardinals. First pitch is at 1:20, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Cubs beach towel presented by Jewel Osco. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
Here's Chris Taylor, 26 years old, University of Virginia alum.
Look at those numbers, folks.
Yeah.
Might be the best player you've never heard of.
Former Mariner. An infielder by trade. Had not played the outfield in pro ball prior to this season. And a couple of impressive catches in their previous series against the Cardinals.
Got to keep that bat in the lineup. Jock Peterson had a collision in the outfield with Yasiel Puig the other day. He's on the DL, concussion DL.
Yeah, so we've got Taylor in center. Cody Bellinger, who's on deck, is in left. Andrew Tolles, done for the rest of the year, blew out his ACL.
Taylor reworked his swing. He's added a leg kick. He's kind of adopting the same approach that Justin Turner has used to turn himself into an elite hitter.
And he admires strike three. Back-to-back Ks for Arrieta.
Number 35, Cody Bellinger.
Just couldn't pull the trigger. And Arrieta has back-to-back punch-outs.
21-year-old Cody Bellinger, 29th major league game. Came up in late April. Franklin Gutierrez and Jock Peterson were out at the time, and his promotion was to be temporary, but he started to hit. Then Gonzalez went to the DL, so Bellinger filled in at first. Then Tolles blew out his knee. And on Saturday, Bellinger became the fastest Dodger to 9 home runs in his 24th game. Somewhat similar to Ian Happ, whose bat has just kept him not only in the big leagues, but in the lineup right in the middle of things. Batting fourth again tonight.
Yeah, that's a lot of times when a young player gets called to the big leagues, he's told, hey, just go play. Don't worry about next week or a month from now. Just go perform, and who knows?
0-2 is hit on the ground right to the shortstop Russell. Only guy between second and third.
You can scoop.
Yep, close, but they got him. After 2, Cubs nothing, Dodgers nothing. The ABC7 Cubs blog at abc7chicago.com, presented by nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Arrieta will lead it off. Silver Slugger winner last year. I feel like every time we see a Jake start that he's going to hit a home run. I don't know why. He just always looks hitterish to me.
Because you've seen him do it.
That's true. 4 times in the last 2 seasons. Hit 262 last year.
As a pitcher, once you start to hit like that, you're not going to sneak up on anybody. They start to treat you like a real hitter. Change speeds. Less aggressive with the fastball, perhaps. I never really suffered that fate.
You saw a lot of fastballs in your career, right down the middle. Yeah.
Here you go.
Come on, throw me a curveball. Come
on, let's go. Work me over.
You afraid of me?
Treat me like with some respect.
Jake chased one.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Well, his last name is Wood, but he has avoided a lot of that here early. 5 out of the 9 batters he's faced, he has struck out.
Yeah, I couldn't get any of the Dodger broadcasters to agree with me that he's better than Clayton Kershaw.
Zobrist,
but he's really good.
Rolls one to Seager. I don't know if you get anybody in the game to admit that any pitcher is better than
no, I was just
Clayton Kershaw.
I was just joking with them. I said, man, this kid's been lights out. It's better than Kershaw. I said, well, don't get too excited.
Kershaw was depositing balls into the seats during pitcher's BP today. And again, he'll pitch against John Lester on Sunday. That'll be fun.
Dodgers used 15 different starting pitchers last year. It's a franchise record.
John coming off his best start as a Cub. A 99 pitch complete game.
It's quality bubble right there too. That's the other thing, you blow a little bigger bubble here in California. Something in the air.
Two and one on Bryant.
Didn't we have a note on Jake's last start that Chris does all kinds of damage when Arrieta is the starting pitcher?
Yep.
3 out of 7 with a home run against Wood coming into this ball game.
He walked him.
Number 44, Anthony Rizzo.
So the third Cub base runner. They've all come with 2 outs. And now Rizzo. Wednesday night, Anthony hit 2 homers off Matt Moore, giving him 33 off left-handers since 2013. That leads all National League left-handed batters. The pitch is off the inside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Wrigley Field was very good to Anthony. He was 5 for his last 48 going into the homestand, and then hit almost 390.
You know, with a guy with his track record, it's just a matter of time. How can he ride that wave, stay hot here on this week-long road trip?
Breaking ball in for a strike. Brewers now have a late lead over the Diamondbacks in the 8th. It's 2-1. They're trying to snap a 4-game losing streak.
I believe Junior Guerra was going to make that start for Milwaukee. He was their opening day starter. He's been on the DL ever since. I believe he was going to be activated to make the start tonight.
He did. One on the way. Swing and a miss. Challenge fastball.
Healthy rip here by Big Riz. Just a little bit behind it.
We've got Forsythe playing between Gonzalez and Utley. Rizzo shortens up again. Fights it off, foul. Teams shift a lot against Rizzo. Actually, teams shift a lot against the Cubs. Throw to first. Bryant is safe. He got his hand in on the Seager tag. So Wood had him picked off, but he just took off. And for now, he's beaten the rap. We'll see if Dave Roberts wants to challenge.
They're going on first move. And we'll see if Seager. I don't think they're going to be able to. They're going to take a look.
Dave Roberts has challenged the call at second base.
If the tag was applied on the right knee, thought the hand was in already though. But that's tough to tell.
Well, Dan Sonia had a really good look at it.
Yeah, and it's a tough call for the umpire too, because the hand's at the bag and the tag's back here, and it's.
This manager's challenge is brought to you by the Subaru Love Promise. It's our pledge to do right by the Chicagoland communities where we all live and work. Have you seen anything yet that would overturn it?
No, I have not.
And he's out.
Oh, they got him. They didn't take very long either.
So that will do it for the Cubs in the third inning. We are still scoreless from Los Angeles. Chase Utley will start it for the Dodgers here in the third inning. Hit his first homer of the year last night against St. Louis. 0 for 13 lifetime against Arrieta, and if I'm not mistaken, he made the final out in Arrieta's no-hitter. Not see a no-no tonight. The Dodgers have one hit. The Cubs have two. Utley, 38 years old, nearing the end of the road. I thought his career might be over a couple of years ago. Got off to a terrible start with the Phillies, but a bit of a renaissance here with the Dodgers. Pat will look up, and it's gone. He's homered twice in 2 nights, and it's 1-0 LA.
A challenge fastball from Arrieta out over the heart of the plate, and Utley was up for the challenge. He's had that short, compact stroke. Liken it to a boxer with a powerful jab.
Yasiel Puig, career .406 hitter against the Cubs. Takes a strike, batting 8th. High in the air to center. Crowd oohing and eyeing, but this one's going to stay in as Happ puts it away.
Hey, Cub fans, help send your Cubs to Miami for the 2017 All-Star Game. Vote early, vote often, vote now at Cubs.com/vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day, up to 35 times total.
Now the pitcher Wood.
Oh, don't yawn. Have the whole place yawning.
Left-handed thrower, right-handed batter. How about this? The Cubs beat the Giants yesterday. Last night the Dodgers bested the Cardinals. Both teams got a 4-inning save.
Crazy, right? It never happens.
Mike Montgomery for the Cubs. Hyunjin Ryu for the Dodgers. 1-2.
First time that had happened since April 23rd, 2004.
I was shocked that it ever happened before, that there were 2 on the same day. Arrieta home on a 2-2, and
could have been. Could have been.
Sinker sank a little too much. Jake making his 108th start as a Cub, looking for his 60th win, and in his career looking for win number 80. This time he got him looking. Check on the Ford upcoming schedule for the Cubs. Early evening Chicago time, national TV tomorrow. 3 o'clock start on Sunday, and then Memorial Day here on ABC 7 from San Diego. Forsythe drives one the other way, but he hit it right at Hayward, who had to battle the lights. Utley with a leadoff homer. It's 1-0 Dodgers.
Fourth inning is brought to you by Four Winds Casinos, your entertainment escape.
Great to have you with us tonight here on ABC 7. Dodger Stadium. And it has turned into a lovely evening. One to nothing. Rizzo was at the bat when Bryant got picked off. So he will lead things off here in the fourth. Pulled up on Vin Scully Avenue to get to the ballpark today. Vin has retired. He's been to the ballpark a few times here early on, but the end of an era, 67 years as the voice of the Dodgers. Matching the tenure of Hall of Famer Tommy Lasorda. Tommy's been dealing with some health issues as of late. Had his pacemaker replaced, had surgery yesterday, and is recovering and doing well. So that's good to hear. 1-2 on Rizzo.
Yeah, I had to come to Dodger Stadium and not see Vin or Tommy.
Right. Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser make up the Dodger television crew, although they worked together last year on the road. Now doing the home games as well. Oral was really good, wasn't he? 1988.
Yeah. It was.
Wow, what a year.
Not a Hall of Famer, but a Hall of really good.
2-2 just missed. Wood
so
not too proud to beg.
Wood's got this scoreless streak going of what, 23 now, 23 and change. Oral can just kind of saunter up next to him and say, "Hey kid, you're not even halfway there yet."
Rizzo held, according to Brian Gorman, and Alex Wood is pretty livid. And Grandal walks the ball halfway to the mound. Wood just gave a derisive wave of the glove. I think more about the pitch before that than anything else. He held. You've been there, right? It's the pitch you don't get, and then something borderline happens on the next pitch, and you really lose it.
A lot of emotion though with that reaction.
Happ takes a strike. Strikeout in the second inning.
I would say generally the modern umpire is kinder and gentler in terms of what they let you get away with out there on the mound.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that.
If you did something like that back in the day with Bruce Fleming, one of those guys, it'd light you up.
Oh, 2 on Happ. Runner on, nobody out, fourth inning. Fastball in.
Would Oral get 56 2/3, something like that?
Sounds right.
He broke the record that was held by Don Drysdale, the Dodger Hall of Famer. Consecutive scoreless innings pitched. Rockies exploded late and dropped an 8 spot on the Cardinals in the 8th. Ended up beating St. Louis 10-0.
D-backs Brewers 2-2 in the 9th now.
The kid Senzatella that we saw when we were out in Denver with another good one. 8 scoreless. He's got a .319. He's 7-1.
How about this one? The Tigers and White Sox were rained out in the first game of a doubleheader earlier today, and they're playing game 2. And the White Sox lead 3-1 in the 4th. 59 innings for Herschel.
Yeah.
So is game 2 really game 1, or just the game? If game 1 is rained out, what does game 2 become?
Man, I don't know. I have no idea.
You should be asleep by now, right? With a time change, you don't want to think about that stuff.
That's a deep thought.
It's foul, left side.
Earl Hershiser in his career, 204 wins, 150 losses, a .576 winning percentage, career ERA of 3.48. Three All-Star teams, 23-8 in that '88 season, 15 complete games, 8 shutouts. And, great postseason run.
Real good fielder. He could hit.
And I want to say the story goes that Orel didn't make his high school team initially.
We'll have to ask him. No big surprise that he has worked very hard at broadcasting too. He strikes me as
very
wants to be good at everything he does. Yeah. He was a
perfectionist.
Career 201 hitter. Which is pretty good for a pitcher. And also pretty good is Ian Happ going 0-2 to full.
Poke it into center.
Called third.
I think the shake got him. Grandal called for the fastball in, and he shook, and I think Ian thought he was going to get an off-speed pitch. Check out the new AccuWeather app from Eyewitness News. Search AccuWeather in the App Store and download to get Chicago's most accurate forecast from ABC 7, your AccuWeather station.
So, yeah, I wanted to ask you about the catcher shake. You'll often see the catcher shaking no to the pitcher. He wants the pitcher to shake off. Is the general idea that batters will think you're shaking from a fastball to something else?
Well, because a lot of times you just don't want to make sure you don't fall into a pattern of shake, slider. You know, shake off the fastball, go to a slider. So a lot of times they'll, or to a change up or something off speed. So that's the catcher who's paying attention to the rhythm of the game. Well, you know what? Every time we're shaking, we're going to an off-speed pitch. So I'm going to have my guy shake and then call a fastball. Used to be pitchers would add and subtract with their glove. So in other words, if they wanted to throw a curveball and the catcher put down 1 for a fastball, you just brush your glove across your chest to add 1 to go to the curveball. Or if you wanted to go from say a slider 3 down to a fastball, you'd subtract 2 by wiping your pant leg with your glove a couple of times. But I can't remember the last time I saw a pitcher do that.
They're making Wood work. He's over 70 pitches, only in the 4th inning. fire over to first.
Well, you talked about it at the start of the ball game. Both these teams, a lot of patient hitters. We'll see pitches, take walks.
Back-to-back 2-out hits in the second inning extended things for Wood.
So both these clubs got short starts yesterday, but because of the efforts of Ryu for the Dodgers and Montgomery for the Cubs, everybody else in the bullpen well rested.
John Lackey tomorrow against Brandon McCarthy.
It's going to be a ghost situation for Rizzo on 3-2. Contreras hits it on the ground a lot, and Wood has been an extreme ground ball pitcher this year, but he's not going.
And there is that double play ball. Seager will take it. 6-3 to end it. Bottom four. Dodgers 1, Cubs nothing. Home half of the fourth inning. And let's check out the Toyota League leaders. Cubs have pitched well on the road. Well, this NL West pretty formidable with the way the Rockies and D-backs have started. The division, the Dodgers, I wouldn't say they've dominated, but they have won this division 4 years in a row. I say they haven't dominated just because the Giants have won a couple of World Series during that time as a wild card. But a high payroll, and they expect to be there every October. Two and one on Corey Seager. His career off to quite a start. 3-1.
Single first time up. He was just 1 out of 15 coming into this one. But he's an elite talent.
So Chris Bryant went from Rookie of the Year to MVP. You could make the case Corey Seager is a good candidate to do that. Middle infielders don't put up numbers like he has put up here early on.
The Raja.
And Noma. Ball 4. First walk for Arrieta.
On Sunday, June 4th, the Cubs take on the Cardinals. First pitch 6:35, and up to the first 5,000 early arriving kids will receive a Wrigley Field wall mini chalkboard presented by MasterCard. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Who wouldn't want a mini chalkboard? I'm going to get one of those.
Leadoff man aboard. Grandal hit into a double play in the first inning, and Arrieta would like a repeat of that here in the 4th.
Guy hits it on the ground a fair bit. He went hunting for it. That pitch right at the bottom of the knees. Potential ground ball pitch.
Contreras, after a 2-0 start, will walk it back out to his pitcher. Arrieta at the set, now throws to first. Seager dives back. At the knees for a strike. Recently, Grandal went up there with the wrong batting helmet. Most switch hitters have 2 helmets, one with the right ear flap, one with the left, and he batted left-handed with the left ear flap. And it was, I believe, the second time in 3 seasons he had done it. I don't know. You'd think you would notice, right?
Well, you know,
it's kind of like not wearing a seatbelt. You immediately notice
funky,
you get in your car.
Something's not right here.
Yeah.
Putting your watch on the wrong wrist.
Pummeled out in the left center, and it's going to one-hop the wall. Seager got a great jump, and he's going to try to score, and he's going to be safe. Nice relay by Addison Russell, but Seager goes first to home, and it's 2-0.
Good work by Grandal. It's a 2-seam fastball, and he just rides it into the alley in left center. You'll see the jump that Seager had in the read. He sees it early on that it's going to get down. Well played by the Cubs, and it's close at home, but just ahead of the tag with a head-first dive.
So 2-0. Grandal with the RBI double. Here's Gonzalez. Still nobody out. And the pitch is in the dirt. 4-1. Swing and a miss on a curve. Joe spent a lot of time out here in Southern California as a coach with the Angels.
Gonzalez doesn't look like he's seeing the ball well at all. His swing looks a little creaky.
Swing and a miss, and Gonzalez might have been a little affected by Grandal, who faked a steal of third. He hit the brakes. That was an awkward cut by Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez shooting a couple glances out there in his direction.
That'll bring up Taylor.
Taylor batting .448 over his last 10 ball games. With .529 on base, .793 slugging percentage.
Throw behind Grandal. A lightning quick tag by Baez, but he beat the throw by Contreras.
The sense that Taylor's selling out on an off-speed pitcher, some kind of breaking ball. He got caught looking first time up and
with a broken belt.
a wardrobe malfunction. Who's got another belt ready? How does that happen?
Hey, I need a 34.
Got the belt boy. We got a belt boy. We got a bat boy, a ball boy, and a belt boy. Old belt boy. It's good to be the king.
Belt boy. Like a Who song. One and one.
Oh, good feet by Contreras. Saved 90 feet there, and that's important with one out.
Don't want to give up too much tonight. With Alex Wood on the mound and a real good bullpen behind him.
Led by Kenley Jansen, their closer, who's having a great year.
So this offseason, right, Chapman got the big money to go back to New York. Melanson signed with the Giants. Jansen re-signed with the Dodgers. For me, of those three, Jansen would be the guy I would want. Now I'm affected by the fact that he's been lights out against the Cubs. So whenever we've seen him, he's been nothing short of great. But
his numbers this year are eye-popping again.
Cubs are thrilled to have been able to trade for Wade Davis. Yeah, Jansen's as good as it gets. Three-two is bounced to the shortstop, Russell. And he fires across for the second out. Hey, Cub fans, if you miss any of tonight's action, ABC 7 will rebroadcast all of its Cubs matchups on the Live Well Network. Tonight's Encore Cubs-Dodgers will air in its entirety beginning at 1 a.m. on ABC 7's digital channel 7.2 and the following cable channel positions. Bellinger. And Grandal in scoring position, where he has been since he doubled in Seager. They're doing the wave here at Dodger Stadium.
Come on, people. Let's tighten it up a little bit. And learn the wave and the beach balls. Bellinger, not quite as exaggerated, but a little bit of Craig Counsell. Counsell was always upright. Of course, Counsell had the bat way up over his head. His dad Clay had played in the big leagues a little bit with the Yankees. Play the outfield, he can play first base. Power and speed.
Yeah, it's very Counsell-like. Swing and a miss on a curveball. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Dodgers add to their lead. It's 2-0 after 4.
Alex Wood has been painting the corners, brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Paint like no other. Captain made him work. He's thrown a fair number of pitches, but got off to a great start, really commanding the fastball, both sides of the plate. Good breaking pitch, good changeup. Alex Wood pitching like an all-star. Couple of young flat brimmers there. Couple fans enjoying the ball game.
Lefty here in the 5th. Wood to Hayward. Got the call off that inside corner.
He's allowed 2 hits, a walk. He's punched out 5.
Seager, gloves. Here's Baez.
Number 9, Javier Baez.
For this 3-game set, Cubs will head south to San Diego. Next off day will be Thursday, prior to the weekend against the Cardinals.
It'll be a long year for the Pods. They are 18-31. Last place, 13 games behind the front-running Rockies.
They have great fish tacos, don't they?
They do. They have good fish tacos. They've got a generally positive outlook on life. Just have a bad team.
They won't go back to brown as the main team color. It's still part of their alternate jersey, but
it could be the problem. They need to embrace the brown.
I agree. Swing and a miss. Baez is gone on strikes. Jeep out of town scoreboard. What do we got? Well, the Diamondbacks came back and won again.
Craig Counsell got ejected in that ball game after a replay of a play at the plate. He still didn't buy it, even with the review.
So they've lost 5 in a row. Max Scherzer, 13 strikeouts as the Nationals beat the Padres 5-1 in D.C.
Bryce Harper hit his 15th home run.
Chris Spire, former Cub player and coach, managing the Nationals this weekend with Dusty Baker away for his son Darren's high school graduation.
No, sir. Good take.
One and two to Russell. Pitcher next. Ouch. And he just got hit on the foot.
Pitcher, Jake Arrieta.
Right foot. Neil Walker back in Pittsburgh with the Mets. Hit 2 homers in the Mets' 8-1 win over the Pirates. Jacob deGrom went into the ninth. I think he was pushed back a day due to the weather last night in New York.
All kinds of drama around the Mets and their injury situations and how they address the injuries and what they tell the media.
Yeah, there has been a lot of drama there this year. There usually is, but feels like more than the usual chaos. NL Central standings are brought to you by the Bob LaCourcio Auto Group. Up to date with the Brewers and Cardinals losing. The Pirates lost, as I mentioned. The Reds beat the Phillies in Philadelphia 5-2. 8 innings from Tim Adelman. Gave up 1 hit. Another homer for Scott Schebler.
14 now. Adam Duvall hit his 11th.
Phillies started the year 11-9. They're now 5-21 since. Called strike 3. Wood with 5 more scoreless frames tonight, leading 2-0. Chase Utley hadn't homered on the year until last night, and he's done it again. It's our Mercedes-Benz drive of the game, and it happened in the 3rd inning. So Utley acquired from the Phillies 2015 and signing 1-year contracts with the Dodgers each of the last 2 off seasons.
He has to feel like he's in bonus time. He dealt with some injury issues toward the end of his run in Philadelphia. He had hip, he had back, he had knees. Rejuvenated down here closer to home in Southern California, playing for a winning club. You know, it's tough the way things went in Philadelphia. They had such a great run, but little by little they started to break that team up. Pedro Baez.
Softly hit on the ground, and Arrieta will dive, and he can't quite get to the bag. Be careful, Jake. Well, that has pulled oblique or lat written all over it. I don't think he quite got to the base.
Yeah, just an unbelievable effort. I don't know. And everybody, Anthony's looking in at Joe as if to say, I don't know if we got him or not. Just a great try by Arrieta.
Ooh, that's close.
Yeah, I think he's safe. just like Utley got the foot down just before the glove got to the base.
Now Joe's out. He, I think, is challenging, but he's having a lengthy convo with Mike DeMurl. Check that with Trip Gibson. And he has lodged a challenge. He might be out.
Yeah, you can't tell from that angle when the glove made contact with the base. This is as good an effort as you're going to see from a pitcher defensively. My goodness.
I think he's out.
He looks out there.
Yeah, I think they're going to reverse it. Going out. This manager's challenge once again brought to you by the Subaru Love Promise. It's our pledge to do right by the Chicagoland communities where we all live and work.
No such thing as a tie, but I'm going to say here in this instance, tie goes to the guy who made the outstanding play. Call him out.
Right.
Bonus points for effort. This would be a good look at it here. I think they got him.
Yes, he's out. By the way, Trip Gibson kind of looks like Seth Meyers, doesn't he?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
On the left.
Really?
You're not seeing it?
Yeah. That was one of his bits.
Oh,
really.
Okay. Good call. And they do reverse it.
Successful challenge for each manager here tonight.
And tonight's save of the game brought to you by Feldco. Save big with Feldco and 2 windows for the price of 1. Yeah. I'd say that's a big save. Puig bangs one off the mask of Contreras.
Dave Roberts ready to pinch hit for his pitcher Wood. He's got Baez up in the bullpen. Wood is up over 90 pitches. He has not thrown 100 pitches in a game this year. They're very sensitive here and can understand why. The health of their starting pitchers, they've had a lot of injuries to deal with over the last couple of years. Done a lot of winning in spite of that.
Brett Eibner's on deck. Puig has done a lot of damage against Cubs pitching over the years.
He's had some big games at Wrigley. Overall, a .406 hitter against the Cubbies.
He struck him out.
Now batting, pinch hitter number 50, Brett Eibner.
Puig looking for the local, and he got the express.
Here's Eibner. Wish there were a man on and 1 out. He hit into the Eibner double play. And Abner double play. No. That's a stretch.
That's a good effort, though.
1 strike on the outfielder, who I guess is occasionally throwing a side session in the bullpen. He pitched in college.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the hybrid idea.
He's another one of those kids from the Woodlands, Texas, where all the children are above average.
Right. They're all better than everybody else everywhere else. Oh, 2. Could have gotten it, didn't. 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's the pitch we highlighted in our Blue Moon perfect pitch in the pregame. That fastball away to a right-handed hitter with a crossfire delivery. If you can command the outside corner down around the knees, boy, that's a tough pitch for a hitter to hang in on.
Swing and a miss. Arrieta with a 1-2-3 5th inning. It's about time. And it has been about time for right-hander Pedro Baez, who's put up some good numbers. But around the league, he has been known as a guy who takes a lot of time between pitches. So we'll see if that is improving. I think last year he had a 29 or 30 pitch appearance against the Cubs that was 29 or 30 minutes. It was like a pitch per minute.
Yeah, he's very deliberate, takes a lot of time between pitches. He's fully aware of it. He's talked about it, trying to get better. The pitching part of it is really good. 19 in the third innings. He's only allowed 2 runs, and both of them have come on solo home runs. Allowed 10 hits, struck out 19, walked 11. He's got a good heater, averages about 97 miles per hour. Hard slider, and he also uses changeup. Appearing any, I don't think you can see the sign.
Ball 1. And Zobrist. Well, another scoreless start. That's 4 in a row for Alex Wood. Streak up to 25 in the third innings. Two and 0 on Zobrist. Looks like Baez not taking quite as much time. That could change with runners on base. 3 and 0.
Well, and even though Wood did pitch a scoreless baseball here tonight, the Cubs had some good at-bats, made him throw a lot of pitches, so it's going to force this Dodger bullpen to cover 4 innings.
Three and 1.
Wood struck out 8, walked 2, 2 hits. He's lowered his ERA to 1.69.
Zobrist celebrating his 36th birthday today.
What a birthday double.
'97.
Right on the edge. 21. You're looking to turn on something, do some damage. You don't want to swing at that borderline one. You'd be more willing to swing at that pitch here on 3-2. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick up and play MLB action, packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com. See, that's the thing about Baez. You have plenty of time to read these promotional items. It looked like something got loose in right field.
He walked him. Let's look at tonight's Comcast Business of Baseball. So early trends. Home team has the highest winning percentage since 2010. Most runs per game since 2009. And we're already looking at potentially a home run record. Homers, strikeouts.
Yeah, home run numbers were up. They were up last year, up again this year. And Better even than 2000 back in the PED era. Maybe this will become known as the launch angle era. All these players now emphasizing getting the ball in the air.
Didn't mean to. It's a fair ball, and they're going to turn it. Oh!
They needed to tag him at second.
He did. Wow, that's a break. Chase Utley, I guess, assumed that Gonzalez was just going to throw to second, but he stepped on the bag, and all Utley had to do, as you said, was tag Zobrist, and he didn't.
Yeah, because the ground ball was right to the bag, so there wasn't really a demonstrative move by Gonzalez. See, he's already on the bag as he catches the ball. Utley doesn't see it. He's not made aware of the fact that he needs to apply the tag there at second base. He's running over to cover the base, so that's probably why he didn't see it. Nobody let him know. Seager should have been screaming, or somebody, tag, tag, tag.
So that's just a 3 unassisted to get Bryant. And instead of 2 outs, nobody on, Zobrist at second base with 1 out. And the batter is Rizzo. And he hits a ground ball to Utley. Advancing to third is Zobrist, 2 outs.
Cub fans, start your day the Chicago way with ABC 7 Eyewitness News in the morning. Weekdays with Terrell Brown, Tanya Babich, Roz Varon, and Tracy Butler. They're having a blast.
Ian Happ with a man at third. And 2 outs. First runner at third tonight, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Ball 1. Gary Jones has a friend to talk to finally. Pretty lonely over there the first couple of hours.
It's been like the Maytag repairman, hanging out. Nothing to do. Enjoy his toothpick and gaze into the crowd. Look for celebrities. Say, hey, isn't that Mary Hart behind home plate?
Yeah, it is. Tom Ricketts hosting a large group of Cub fans from Southern California. Hi, Mary. She's out here every game.
You see Larry King back there too. Larry sometimes is kind of down low, slipping in the seat.
Swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
98 elevated. Tough to get to that one. Sales didn't become a pitcher until 2013. Spent his first 6 years as an infielder in professional baseball. That didn't work out. Had big arms, so let's try this.
Like my college buddy Jim was one of the greatest guys in the world. But we would have dinner, and I would be done, and he would just be starting. He's staring at his food. Every bite he thought about. I think he enjoyed eating a lot more than I did, but was never in a hurry. 2-2 is hit to left, and it's caught by Bellinger. So Baez gives up the walk, no runs, still 2-0.
Time now for the Dunkin' Donuts Fun Cam. America runs on Dunkin'.
Big group of Cub fans. There you see the chairman, Tom Ricketts. On the front, Bill Peterson. And Joel Murray's got quite an outfit on. That's a good look for Joel.
Yeah, he can pull it off.
Bonnie Hunt is in attendance tonight. I heard Jeff Garland was bringing Larry David. Bob Newhart. Oh, there's Bob in the background. See him to the right with the cap on, laughing. Yeah. Name that Cub fan. 2 strikes on Logan Forsythe. Mentioned he was on the DL recently, came back on Tuesday and beat the Cardinals with a game-ending RBI double in the 13th. And that was after striking out 4 times earlier.
Had a pretty sustained run here. They started the year kind of limping, 10-12, but 18-8 since then.
Swing and a miss. Nope. Yep, he did. He might have gotten a piece of it, but he did not.
Shortstop.
So why don't we update your Mercedes-Benz keys?
Let's revisit those keys. Now that we've moved along a little bit. Well, Jake here in California, he has stood tall, done a solid job here tonight. The wood-on-wood part, that hasn't worked out so good. Cubs didn't do any damage against Alex Wood. And the Dodgers now have gone to their bullpen, which in terms of ERA is the best in the National League.
Seager has reached twice, single walk, and scored in the 4th.
But no doubt Dave Roberts going to the bullpen a little earlier than he would have hoped. It's all cumulative, you know. You get into that bullpen early in the first game of a series, it could pay dividends the next day or the day after that. Certain guys are rendered unavailable.
Sinker caught the inside corner. A 1-2 is low. Fireworks night here tonight.
Yeah.
And the theme is Sgt. Pepper.
It's the anniversary of the release of that album 50 years ago today.
Ground ball out into right center. Tonight's hot and cold players brought to you by Plumbers 911. Emergency plumbing services one click away at plumbers911.com. Zach Greinke is back to his old self this year, and Amir Garrett, we saw him on the last homestand, really struggling after a good start.
I believe they put him back on the disabled list, or maybe not back on, but on. They had sent him down to AAA earlier this year. Who else is not hot? The San Francisco Giants. They continue to really struggle to score. They're being shut out by Atlanta tonight. 2-zip through 7 up at AT&T Park. Jaime Garcia for the Braves pitching shutout ball. But Jake, man, he's covered in dirt. That's a ball player there. Playing the whole game.
Kicks and fires in a swing and a miss. 1-2. He's utilized that curveball a lot tonight. strikes out. 2 away. We're in the Dodgers 6th.
First baseman.
Arrieta, that's 9 strikeouts.
A couple ugly hacks from Grandal at that curveball. Back to back with it. A tight spin. Blue Jays welcome Josh Donaldson and Troy Tulowitzki back off the DL. They beat the Rangers 7-6.
So a lot of firepower to get back. Left side of your infield. We will see the Blue Jays at Wrigley Field in interleague play later on this summer.
It's 4 in a row for Toronto in last place in the AL East.
You gotta say it like Don Cherry does. Toronto. Bounced foul by Gonzalez. A's beat the Yanks 4-1 in the Bronx. Masahiro Tanaka struck out 13 and took the loss.
That's a hang with him. Fitting because this is the anniversary of maybe the greatest hang with him in baseball history when Harvey Haddix pitched 12 perfect innings only to lose it in the 13th.
3-1. High drive, deep center. Pat back at the wall, and Gonzalez has his first home run of the season. 4-0 LA.
Couldn't come at a worse time from the Cubs' perspective. They struck out the first 2 times, and boy, looked bad doing it. Swing didn't look good at all. The breathing room for the Dodgers now is Agon goes deep for the first time.
.309th of his career. First in his 36th game here in 2017. So 4-0 now. Taylor. Swing and a miss. He's got the look of relief more than jubilation, doesn't he? It's about time. And for Arrieta, who allowed 10 homers in winning the Cy Young in 2015, he's given up 10 already this year. Happ makes the catch, and we head to the 7th. It's 4-0 Dodgers. Brought to you by Sport Clips Haircuts with over 90 Chicagoland locations. Find yours at sportclips.com. Adrian Gonzalez doubling the Dodger lead to 4-0 with a 2-run blast. Pedro Baez out for his second inning of work, facing Wilson Contreras. A little different story for Arrieta tonight. His previous 6 regular season California starts, 6-0 with an 0.20 ERA.
You mentioned it there last half. The home run ball has been a bit of an issue for him, and he's not getting the outs on the ground that he normally gets. Big strikeout game tonight. He's punched out 9.
Bounding ball, it's backhanded. And Seager throws out Contreras.
Right fielder, Jason.
Felix Pena loosening in the Cubs bullpen. Hayward 1 out of 2. He singled in the second.
Singled with 2 outs. Baez followed up with an infield hit. Those are the only 2 hits the Cubs have tonight.
Pedro Baez shares a nickname. I got it.
Shares a nickname.
Yeah. With Mike Hargrove.
Human rain delay?
Yeah. Can you imagine Baez facing Hargrove? Like a cricket match. Day 3. And actually, I would love to go back and watch some Indians games from that time and see how it looks now. I bet it wasn't as long
compared
as it seemed at the time. Adam Liberator recently off the DL. He would just take a step out of the box, right? 1 foot out and would
adjust the batting gloves, the helmet to tighten them up, get everything just so.
So what Hayward just did, but times 10.
Mm-hmm.
Roll over bouncer, right side foul.
Chuck Knobloch, similar. Step out after every pitch, readjust the batting gloves. Commissioner continues to talk about trying to find ways to speed up the pace of play. We got the Utley rule with the slide play at second base. Maybe there'll be a Baez rule someday.
Went upstairs and Hayward couldn't get it.
Straight gas, 97.
That'd be premium, wouldn't it?
That's
97.
High octane petrol.
Baez versus Baez.
Spy versus spy. It's a little unsettling. Javi from Puerto Rico. Pedro's from the Dominican Republic. Not sure where Joan is from.
Swing and a miss.
Up and in there, the coconut took him out of his game a little bit. That was just a wild, crazy swing.
Joan is from New York. Joan also Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She went in on April 7th. Stretch time in LA. 4-0 Dodgers. Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC7 is being brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Hyundai. Visit your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers today and see how better drives us. And by the Bob LaCourcio Auto Group. You're going to like buying a car this way. This pitching change is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Right-hander Felix Pena in for Jake Arrieta, who went 6, gave up 4 runs.
Felix up for the second time this year. He was recalled from AAA Iowa on Tuesday. He's here in a couple of ball games. Down at AAA, he pitched 10 times. At 570 down at Iowa.
And a strike to Bellinger, who has grounded out and fanned on his 2 previous trips. And a ground ball. New second baseman is Ben Zobrist. He moves from left to the infield. John Jay now playing left.
Second baseman number 26, Chase Utley.
Utley 1 for 2 with a home run.
Felix pitched 11 times for the Cubs last year. No wins, no losses, an ERA of 4. They're about 94 with that heater. A slurvy slider. 27 years of age.
Utley hit, and they'll head to first.
Right field, number 66, Puig.
Puig 0 for 2. Swings under it. Again, look, you don't see that often these days. The one batting glove. Guys either wear both or none. Either that or he lost the right-handed one. Short lead at first by Utley. Pena throws and a swing and a miss. And one hop throw to first is late, so Puig makes the second out, and it will be Kike Hernandez.
Pinch hitter number 14, Kike Hernandez.
Exit velocity brought to you by Subaru. 103 off the bat of Adrian Gonzalez. His first of the year. Here's Hernandez. Takes a breaking ball low and away. And he bats for Baez, who went 2 scoreless. Pushed him off the plate, and the ball ended up in the box. 1-1.
Kind of a funky little move Hernandez has at the start of his approach here. I don't recall him doing this in the past.
It looks different.
Leg, yeah.
Kind of a little tap as Utley steals second base without a throw.
Good read by Utley. Got the running lead, and he didn't make him stop.
Always been a good base runner, and guys who learned under the tutelage of Davey Lopes. Generally terrific base runners. Jason Worth. All those guys with the Phillies. 148 career steals for Utley. And rarely gets caught.
Yeah, very high success rate.
2-2 on the pinch hitter Hernandez.
That's funky with his front foot. He kind of hovers it above the ground.
Yeah, it's not really a leg kick, is it?
Just kind of pushes it forward and just lets it hang there a little bit.
Swing and a miss. And that'll end the inning. Scoreless 7th for Pena. Getting late. Still 4-0. Equity Mortgage. Whether it's purchase or refi, Midwest Equity's Chicago-based team has you covered. Midwest Equity is a Cranes Fast 50 and Better Business Bureau A+ rated company. So apply today at MidwestEquity.com. Midwest Equity Mortgage. We bring it home.
This pitching change is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank. It's about time. Baez 2 scoreless, and now it's Chris Hatcher, who, like Baez and like Jansen, the closer, started his career as a position player. Hatcher was a catcher.
He got to the big leagues as a catcher. So his major league debut was 2010 as a catcher. His major league debut as a pitcher was the following year. Ground ball off the bat of Russell. Forsythe, high throw, no problem for Gonzalez.
Cub fans, start your day the Chicago way with ABC 7 Eyewitness News in the morning. Big days with Terrell Brown, Tanya Babich, Roz Varon, and Tracy Butler.
John Jay with his first plate appearance. Entered in the bottom of the 7th to play left. Forsythe plays even with the bag at third. This is not a pinch hit appearance for Jay, but in a part-time role, he's been really effective. Doesn't seem like he's bothered by not getting regular bats. And the emergence of Ian Happ has taken away at bats from Jay and Almora.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple games on the homestand where he might get starts. When you looked at the pitcher-batter matchups, there's a couple of those starting pitchers that we had seen in recent days that he had a lot of success against. A very valuable guy to have coming off the bench. And it's his skill set that really makes it tougher for Tommy La Stella to, find playing time at the big league level. Tommy down at AAA right now, because Jay very similar in his approach to La Stella. Handles velocity, good off the bench, left-handed obviously.
And we'll get out of play. Looks like every person down in that section has 8 bottles of water. I'll stay hydrated. Over toward the line. Sliding catch. Bellinger. Oh, what a play by the rookie.
Talked about his speed earlier when we saw him go down the first baseline. He really closed on that ball in a hurry. He was shaded that way to begin with. They're playing Jay as an off-field hitter, almost as if he were a right-handed pull hitter. That's a beautiful play by Bellinger.
So Jay robbed of what would have been at least a double. And with 2 outs, it's Ben Zobrist. That is a strike. Cubs won 2 of 3 at Wrigley Field in April. They'll wrap up the regular season series this weekend. And then who knows, maybe we'll see them again later. Two and one. Cubs have had very little going offensively. They did have some chances early, but second inning was with 2 outs. And in fact, the only 2 hits were back-to-back 2-out singles in the second. Puig's got it. And that's it for the Cubs in the 8th. Still 4-0 Dodgers. This grade 8 stat of the game brought to you by Mattress Firm, where we want you to sleep happy, guaranteed. Remember, if it's over 8, it's time to replace. Cubs and Dodgers, each with 8 players knocking in 15 or more. Rizzo with 28 driven in. However, they haven't driven anybody in the night. Down 4-0 late. Forsythe 0 for 3 from the leadoff position. And Pena's pitch, good breaking ball. And he lays it in for a strike. 1-1. Felix with a 2-1. Missed. Red Sox shut out the Mariners at Fenway 3-0. We're going to get David Price back on Monday in Chicago against the White Sox. Leadoff walk. He's been out the entire year with an elbow issue. And Chris Sale is slated to face his former team on Tuesday.
That'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see what they get out of Price. There's talk in spring training that he would have surgery.
Red Sox have won 5 in a row. Seager 2 for 2, a walk, 2 runs. Interleague action, Marlins 8, Angels 5, a final in South Florida. Carlos Stanton hit his 25th career homer that went at least 460 feet. Now 1-2. Pena would love a ground ball at one of his infielders. Cubs are double play depth. Swing and a miss. He'll take that. And Seager makes it out for the first time. 3rd strikeout for Pena.
Drifts out onto that front foot and swings through what it looked to be a pretty hittable slider.
Grandal 1 out of 3 with an RBI double. He has blossomed as a Dodger. Cuban born, went to high school in South Florida and then the University of Miami. 28 years old. Drafted by the Reds, debuted with the Padres in 2012.
Lifetime just a 242 batting average, but on base right around 350 with good slugging numbers. Chin tucked into his shoulder, reminiscent of Zobrist.
Second walk of the inning. And it will be Gonzalez.
First baseman number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
You know, I mentioned the Harvey Haddock's game from 1959.
Yeah.
You know what else happened on that day?
Same year?
You know the story about Bill Veeck and Eddie Goodell, right? The
Yeah.
vertically challenged guy he had pinch hit in the early 50s. Well, they had, at the time they had, I think, Nellie Fox playing second and Louis Aparicio playing short. Both kind of smallish guys. So as a publicity stunt, Bill Veeck had a helicopter fly into the ballpark, dropped Eddie Goodell and 2 or 3 other short people onto the field. And they had this whole announcement over the PA about these guys were there to provide support for the diminutive middle infielders.
Jay in the corner. I think he got a glove on it. The problem is you can't get fan interference if the ball is in the stands. If he had been interfered with on the field of play, they could call him out.
That was a heck of an effort. Ball slicing away from him, and he went a long way for it. But the ball was.
So once you're kind of over that barrier, it's anybody's ball.
Somebody lost their phone or their wallet there, too. Great try. Tremendous effort. But they so Eddie Goodell and these other short people, they brought ray guns like they were Martians, and they brought Aparicio and Nellie Fox these ray guns.
I think John's feeling a lot better with that fan consoling him. And I'm not sure a fan actually touched him. It was close. That would have been a great catch. Ground ball, diving stop, Russell, out at second, out at first. Oh, what a double play turn. Started by Russell, 6-4-3. Man, is he fun to watch. Is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Mazda CX-9. Mazda, driving matters. Well, you hate that double play turn to come in a loss, but the Cubs find themselves down 4 runs on just 2 hits as we start the 9th inning.
Dodgers with the major league best 3.02 ERA in their home ballpark. I knew coming in it would be difficult off Wood the way he had thrown the ball. The Cubs did a nice job in the sense that they made him throw a lot of pitches and got him out after 5, but they also highlighted the Dodger bullpen with the best bullpen ERA in the National League, and they've stood tall here tonight. Baez and Hatcher getting the job done. Suspect if Cubs start to make some noise here, we'll see Jansen.
And he is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Oh, 0-1 on Bryant. Swing and a miss. The tailing action on that fastball from Hatcher. 0-2. Look out, in on the hands. And Chris just got out of the way. There's Jansen if needed. Just over 45,000. A paid crowd tonight here in LA. Way up in the air, out into right, Puig jogging in. Time now for our Hyundai plays of the game. Dodgers out homering the Cubs 2-0 tonight. Chase Utley with his second of the season and second in as many nights, and then Adrian Gonzalez with his first of the year. I mean, we're in late May, and these two guys who hit plenty of homers in their careers just getting off the schneid.
A couple guys that have been at it for a long time. Utley 38, Gonzalez what, 35.
Pitch to Anthony Rizzo is popped up. Got the shift on, so it is Seager pretty much alone over there on that side of the diamond. 2 outs. It'll be up to Ian Happ. Two strikeouts and a line out for Ian.
Continues to work up in the zone with that fastball. Tough pitch to lay off. It's a tough pitch to do anything with. Lazy fly balls.
Alex Wood improved his 6-0 to start the year. Baez went 2. Hatcher trying to do the same. And that kind of night for the visitors. Hatcher with the 0-2. And he lines out to Utley. So Happ hits another one hard, but for the final out. And the Dodgers grab the opener. Final score, LA 4 and the Cubs nothing. We'll be back in a